that they would own, or the world's largest shopping mall would have no physical presence or would have no warehouses, or the fact that it took IKEA several decades to reach $42 billion of sales globally, and it took Alibaba 15 years to hit 700 billion. It's a world where change is happening fast, and there is a concern that this change is translating into a change in the way the nature of work will emerge, and that uncertainty is causing a lot of doomsday scenario. But in that uncertainty, I think governments are saying, or at least the dialogue has started, that you can't predict that future. Right? I mean, Keynes in 1930 said that by 2030 he expected the technology to be such that you would have abundance of leisure and time, that people would, just for contentment, spend 3 hours a day to work. That's basically what he thought would happen. And of course, Marx said the most powerful suppression of strikes is technology. Now, 2018, we're nowhere near that kind of scenario. But I think the uncertainty is suggesting to governments, you are not able to control the future, but what you can do is invest in your citizens the human capital they need to actually deal with the uncertainties of the future. So don't worry about the future and what technology will do and whether low-income jobs will come to your country or not. Rather, grab the moment now and invest in your citizens. And that kind of a strategy then asks the question, well, what kind of investments are we talking about? And here, I think the debate that has emerged in the last few years is what are the components of human capital that really prepare you in terms of your life cycle. And I think we in the World Bank, in looking at the lessons around the world, fundamentally have settled on a few elements of what we think contribute to a strong human capital setting. And it's very simple, and it's obvious, but luckily we were able to get some of the world's best economists to do correlations and whatnot to come to this conclusion. Well, what's the conclusion? Well, components of human capital linked to productivity begin with, what's your probability that you'll survive up to age 5? 2, what is the probability of a 15-year-old surviving to age 60? So survival becomes very important. Another component is, yes, you're going to schooling, and Mark Twain warned us. He said, I never let schooling get in the way of my education. Well, most of these countries seem to have settled that score. How do you create learning-adjusted schooling systems, right? Learning-adjusted years of schooling. So you go to school, but if you do 12 years of schooling, do you get 12 years of learning? Or is it as, and I don't know what the latest ACER report suggests,